Aloha guys, Eric West here, HawaiiRealEstate.org. Welcome back. If you were just on the live, we had some technical issues. We went ahead and restarted the live from scratch. So here I am, December 2025, coming to you from the beautiful island of Maui, Hawaii. This is your Lahaina Town update tour. I call it the walking tour, although we are just rolling, right? We're just rolling on the one wheel. Yes, sir! Coming to you from Shaw Street and Ho'onopi'ilani Highway and the Aquatic Center. Check it out. We're going to talk about things you can do now in Lahaina, right? There's still lots to do. But I'm also going to show you the update of the rebuild so far. So we have a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. But if you were just on the live that got aborted, I was talking about some interesting factoids. That Maui County is one of the highest funded counties in the country. I think we're number 4, number 5 after big towns like San Francisco and some little towns in Alaska. But for 150,000 residents, full-time residents, our budget is well over $1 billion. So you would think, not to mention the billions that came in after the fire, you would think our infrastructure would be good, right? But it's not. It's not good. It's not good at all, actually. The bathrooms look like circa 1970, and the roads have potholes. Bathrooms in most county parks are disgusting. The showers are old. Everything's run down. So it begs the question. It begs, doesn't it? Doesn't it just beg the question? Where's all that money going? Like, what are they doing with it? I know the county workers are kind of notorious for like 5 guys to do one job and 4 guys are supervising and one guy, the new guy, the young guy, is actually doing the work. Got a video of that actually I just shot a few minutes ago. But we do have some beautiful facilities in terms of nature. Check it out. Like, look at this beautiful field. Look at the beautiful grass. And it's green now, not because the government gave us any water, but because God did. It's actually been raining on the west side of Maui. Thank you, Lord. And this is the Boys and Girls Club of Maui, which I think is reopened. And then over there, you've got multiple baseball diamonds and fields that are, some have lights. The basketball court over here, which is looking halfway decent. And then of course you have the Lahaina Aquatic Center, which I was just at a few moments ago. Did you know that you can swim at the Lahaina Aquatic Center? Basically, I think 6 days, 7 days a week. And then next to that, there's a skate park. So the Lahaina Aquatic Center is open again. The skate park is open again. You wanna know what's not open again? Is our homeless shelter. That's right. The homeless shelter somehow mysteriously burned, even though it was way up here, right? Completely separated from the Lahaina Town fire, right? It couldn't get more separated. It just couldn't get more separated. I mean, look at it. It has this beautiful green field next to it. And Lahaina fire was way back there, which we're gonna go to here in a second. But I'm just pointing out how in the world did the homeless shelter, which was a significant set of buildings, right? It wasn't just some one little building. It was like a whole apartment complex. I think it was brick, but I'm not positive. It's gone. How did it burn? How did it catch fire? Way over here. This is so weird, man. So weird. Ka hale I ko keala. Keola. Like I said in many videos, my Hawaiian is not the greatest. Kahale a keola. I think that's how you say it. But here it is. And can you see the urgency by which they are rebuilding this? I mean, they're in a hurry, aren't they? They made sure that the first dollars that they got from the federal government to rebuild Lahaina went straight to helping the homeless people, right? The impoverished, the locals, the people that need the most help. Can you see the urgency by which they're rebuilding the homeless shelter? Isn't it just shocking? Like, seriously, nothing, zero, nothing. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm on just a little bit of a rant today because I find it very irritating. Matter of fact, I just got done talking to a teacher that works in the public school system here, and she's like, they had this PR campaign where they're like, oh, we have teacher housing that's available. Come over and teach on Maui. And she's like, and we went and checked it out, and it was like this little box up in Lahaina Luna, just this little box. She's like, no teacher would ever live in some little box. And then the whole program just kind of went away. But not a single teacher took advantage of it. The other interesting factoid is that the Hawaii public school system, last time I checked, was the highest publicly funded per capita school system in the country. Yet we teach, I don't know if they teach, but we pay our teachers horrendous salaries. They don't even keep up. It's not even a living wage. It's horrible. So all I got to say is I think there's just an absolute ton of mismanagement, corruption. I don't know what the word is, but it's sad. It is so sad. Anyway, what's even more sad is the lack of progress happening here in Lahaina. So on this walking tour, we're gonna zip over there real quick, but I did want to show you some of these facilities because, you know, these are like little dog park areas, by the way. I think there's some dogs over there, a little dog park area. And the aquatic center is very nice. The skate park isn't half bad, but again, you go into the bathrooms in any of our county parks and they're just yucky. As my son used to say after he went to the bathroom in his diaper, he would say, yucky poop. Yucky poop. That's my official scorecard for Maui County and how they keep up with their infrastructure. Another example is you could have a car break down on the side of the road, like right in the middle of like a big tourist attraction like Kanapali, and it just sits there forever. We have a broken car, dilapidated, half the tire. I mean, it's just horrible. Been sitting there for months. They don't care. I think they like it that way. I think the more lack of order, they prefer that actually. All right, I'm gonna go hit the button here. And that is the aquatic center over there. I actually shot some video over there that I'll post at some point in time. And here we are crossing Shaw Street. If you remember my channel back in the day, this was the infamous food line video where there was cars lined up and down this street all the way for miles coming to get food. Free food during COVID. And thankfully that church did not burn. Samaritan's Purse, I believe, was headquartered here as well. Lahaina Baptist. So glad this guy's little holly didn't burn. Survived. And this mango tree, one of the last on Maui. He could probably sell those for a pretty penny, yeah? And you can see some of the reconstruction happening over there. But yeah, just look at the quality of the roads here. I mean, it's rough. It is, everywhere you go, it's just bad roads. Just bad roads, potholes, just bad repairs, just everywhere. Everywhere on Maui. Matter of fact, that's one of the first things my father-in-law said when he came to visit us when we moved to Maui. You know how father-in-laws are, right? They're cool, but they're kind of critical, you know, like, huh. So you moved your family here, huh, Eric? He goes, have you seen the potholes? I'm like, yeah, I've seen the potholes, man. I'm like, have you seen the surf though? And the sunsets. But yeah, it's just, yep, it's everywhere. And this is not like post-fire. This is where the Awas are. They're just Awas horrible roads everywhere you go. It's like, who's in charge of the road department here? I don't know. I'd like to get their number though and be like, all right, on a scale from 1 to 10, or on a grading level from F to A, I'd give you like a F minus, honestly. They recently no longer allow us to park in this parking lot here, right across from the 505, I'm at 505 Front Street, because it's private. But it's the only place you can park to go surf at Breakwall. So now you can't park in there anymore. So now there's like not enough parking anywhere to go surfing. And this is no parking here. There's Lahaina Shores, open for business. They got some smoking deals right now, by the way. So please support your local Maui condo owners. specifically hotel zone, because they're trying to ban those guys too. But here's what we got going on. Here's your update for Lahaina Front Street, Lahaina Town. I can't really do it, right? Why? Because you still can't go there. Do not enter, barrier, private property, health and physical hazard exists. And they've recently put up all of these, I don't know, these are like what, 5.5 foot tall fencing. So you can't obviously get into these areas. But this is a little pathway they've set up just so that you can go surfing, which is super nice of them. Of course, there's no parking, but ultimately there's no access. I cannot take you down Front Street. I cannot go do a memorial for fish where you used to sit and love on tourists and make them little crafts and share the word of God and the love of God. Can't go there because it's all locked down. Locked down. Can't go down there. I could go down there, but I would get stopped. But look at these nice, beautiful, shiny little fences everywhere. What do you think? Crazy, right? So we're going to keep going. Don't get me wrong. We're going to keep going down some streets and show you some reconstruction, but there's nothing happening on Front Street. There's no businesses. There's no permits that have been issued. Nothing on the waterfront. No businesses. And here we are at one of my favorite surf breaks. My home break, I like to call it. 505. Yes, sir. Let's go. I was out there this morning. Dawn patrolling. There's a big swell right now. It's just not wrapping properly for down here. Little manini. That means small kind. Ankle biter waves. But yeah, it's still Maui, you know? It's still gorgeous. It's still beautiful, you know? God is taking care of his side of the house, for sure, right? Right? But then you go over what man is up to, right? Not good. Not good. Because it's just what they're up to is, are you ready? You want to know what they're up to? Massive amounts of red tape, bureaucratic BS. And I'll give you just a quick example. There's a cultural historic committee that's been set up that is not really a legal requirement, but in order to get permits, you're supposed to go through this committee. Well, guess what? They have not been meeting. If you look at their meeting schedule, they all got canceled. They haven't been able to meet a quorum, and that's one of the steps that's required for these commercial business owners to get their permits. Well, this Hawaiian Cultural Committee just doesn't meet, and they don't meet a quorum, and they cancel all the meetings. That is obstruction, and that's what's happening. And that, my friends, is straight from the horse's mouth, from people that I know that own businesses on Front Street that are literally being choked, strangulated financially by the government on purpose, period. That's the truth. It's sad, so sad. They're so frustrated, and that's the game, right? The game is the government's got the money, they got the control, they got the power, they got the regulations. They can just choke these people out. It's a slow death, and that's what they're doing. It's really unfortunate, and I'm not too sure what the solution is. Almost fell on the one wheel there. Whew, sheesh. But anyway, I don't know. But we do have some really good houses on stilts with there's lots of boxes everywhere. Looks like little prison cells. They're throwing those down like crazy. On a positive note, there are some residences that are going up as long as you're not on the ocean and you have enough money to rebuild. I think one of the rules for Maui County workers should be they have to put all their cell phones in a box when they get to work, and they can only communicate by Motorola two-way radio. Because every time I see a county worker, quote unquote worker, I use that word very lightly, they're scrolling. Like, what is the productivity loss for our taxpayer dollars For the few people that are supposed to be doing the job, sitting around scrolling all the time. Lahaina Shores? Back in action? 505, not so much. It's a swamp. Literally, it's a swamp. Can't see it now, they got it covered up, but the whole parking garage is full of green water. Seems like that's a little bit of a environmental hazard, having all that standing water just sitting there. Can't imagine that's a good thing, right? I think they'd come and pump it, mitigate it. Just call me crazy though, I don't know. So here we go with some of the Front Street rebuilds. What do you think? Pretty good so far? Am I too sarcastic? I know, I can't help it. It's one way that I can remain somewhat positive. How many houses have you seen rebuilt so far here? Oh, is 0? Yeah, that's about where it's at. So these houses on this side, by the way, they didn't burn. That monstrosity, beautiful home, by the way. They recently built it, took up the entire lot, but none of these burned. Those were not burned. That home back in there, the main one burned, but the little Ohana didn't, but not rebuilt yet. Not rebuilt. This house, I think, is the first home to be rebuilt on the Mauka mountainside of Front Street. By the way, if you're just joining the live or just watching it for the first time, thank you so much for helping Daniel. Go to helpdaniel.org. He's a fire survivor that is totally blind. And we need to raise some money. So another monstrosity of a beautiful house did not burn. That house also did not burn. So pretty much the only houses you're seeing so far are the ones that did not burn. So if they don't allow people to rebuild on the ocean, how does that work exactly? If this guy can keep his house, but his neighbor can't rebuild his house, where's the equity in that? Oh, I'm sorry, we just passed another lot that wasn't rebuilt yet. Not a stick in the ground. Same with this guy. Oh yeah, how about that? A lot of progress happening there, right? Huh. Oh, wait a second. Oh yeah, good progress here too. They just said save it. Please save. Huh, okay. That house hasn't been rebuilt. That house hasn't been rebuilt. Oh, that one over there? That one didn't burn. So what are we at? One house? One house so far, right? On the south end of Front Street. Oh boy, that house didn't burn, right? It's a beautiful plantation house. So cute, oceanfront, 385 Front Street, didn't burn. That's why it's there. That house back in there, that's Jim Neighbor's old house. It didn't burn, obviously. Not rebuilt. Now this one, it's got some progress. They got a permit, you can see. Got the beginnings of the foundation and plumbing going in. All right, 2. Not much progress over here. Oh, nothing over there. Oh wait, big surprise. Nothing rebuilt over here. Right? Like, dude, what is going on? Over here, that's where I used to live. That was my first place on Maui, right there, 350 Front Street. Looks like they're starting. That's a good sign. All right. This was the concrete house, the tsunami house, we called it. Looks like he's got something going on. I don't know what it is. He's got a camper and a little 200 square foot something, but I'm not seeing much else. Hole in the ground. All right, nothing over here. So you're kind of getting the vibe here. We don't need to beat a dead horse here, right? Or do we? Longy's house. A lot of progress happening there. How would you feel if your house burned down and 2 years later you still didn't even have a stick in the ground? How would you feel? Would you feel good about that? Would you thank your government for being such good stewards of their fiduciary responsibility to the citizens that pay their bills, that pay their salaries? Would you say, hey, thanks, man? Oh, thanks, uncle. So aloha of you to help me out getting back into my home. Aloha, mahalo, mahalo nui loa. Hey, this guy's going up though. So what is that, 3? 3 so far, I think? Okay. I think my sarcasm is just blanketing my anger at the moment. Let's go back in here, and then we will start to head back. And I gotta get to work. I gotta go show some houses, man. Gotta get to work. This is fun, sort of, riding the one wheel anyway, but not seeing the lack of progress. And certainly I wish I could go down Front Street. Do you think it should be okay for us to just go down a public street? What are they hiding back there? Why can't you go down Front Street? What's the big deal? I don't understand. Beautiful rock wall. You know, they say you put up rock walls to help protect your house from fire, isn't that right? Oh boy, that didn't work out too good for that guy. Didn't work out too good for anybody with a rock wall. Didn't work out too good for cars that were in the middle of nowhere with no fire around them at all, and they just melted for no reason. But we don't look into that. Nah, no big deal. Nothing to see here. You ever notice that that's how it works? Bad shit happens, and then the government just doesn't do anything, and they just think, oh, it's just gonna go away. And then a bunch of files will get put in some top secret folder, and then when they release it, it'll be highly redacted, and we just, nothing to see here, people. Just go on your merry way. Nothing to see here. We're just doing our thing. Nothing to see here. Nope. No follow-up, no investigations, no transparency. Oh, Freedom of Information Act? Oh, you want to see some of the records? Okay, denied. You know what it sounds like to me, really? In all honesty? It sounds like communism. That's what it sounds like. And that's what our forefathers, I think that's what they had in mind. They're like, you know what? Or all the people that died for our country and for our freedom. I think they were thinking, like, someday, I'm going to give my life so that someday we can have communism, where authoritarianism rules and the elite squash the common man. And there's no transparency, there's no honesty, there's no justice. We just do what we want and don't have to answer for our misgivings, for our, quite frankly, in a lot of cases, I'm sure it's going to come out that these people committed high crimes, traitors. That's what's going to come out, I hope. But yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. Yeah, I put in FOIA requests, all kinds. I want to see the police reports that day. I want to hear the dispatches. I want to know, by the way, if you're just joining this live and you're just curious, we'll just cut right to the chase. What caused the Lahaina fire? You want to know? It was called no water. So yes, they left an active fire that was quote unquote put out, but they left the field. They went to lunch maybe, everybody left, and then the fire reignited. So they left a fire when it was 80-mile-an-hour winds in Lahaina, which there's never a skiff of wind here, which is really weird, by the way. The fire department leaves. The fire re-sparks. I like to see who ordered those guys to leave, number one. Number two, they get to the first house, right? The fire crosses over to a structure, the first structure to burn in Lahaina Luna. The firemen show up, and the firewomen, and they hook up. They hook up to the fire, they hook up the fire hose to the fire hydrant, and it doesn't work. There's no water. So in my humble opinion, that is the moment of accountability. So I've requested FOIA, the transmissions. Nope. But if you don't have water, now understand there was no active fire that was being fought using a bunch of water. So the water wasn't used up. They didn't have to call for more water, which was the narrative that they sold everybody. Oh, the Hawaiian guy, he denied the water. No, I'm talking about the very first structure didn't have water to put out the structure. So do you think when a house catches fire and there's 80-mile-an-hour winds in a town that never has a skiff of wind, it's going to spread to the next house, the next house, the next house, the next house, and that not any water is being sprayed on the fire. Of course. So that's what caused the Lahaina fire. Caused, meaning a brush fire, goes to a house fire, and then there's no water to fight it. So where's the investigation into why there was no water? There's a water tank right above that house. Gravity fed. There's no reason they shouldn't have put that fire out in handily. Dispatched that fire handily within minutes. But there was no water. So where's the investigation into the water situation? Because if there was water in that hydrant, they would have put out the fire. And we wouldn't be looking at this destruction right now. Right? Does that get reported? Is this news for you guys? Have you heard this before? Am I the first guy to mention that? Because that is not just me saying it, that's a eyewitness account from one of the firemen that was at that structure fire when they went to hook up to it. I did a video showing that fire hydrant, showing that home, the empty lot now. But ultimately, where's the FOIA requests? I just met some people a couple days ago, I should say, that they were in their home in Lahaina. They only knew about the fire when they saw the flames coming from the house next door. Because they were chilling out. They were watching a movie, eating soup. All the blinds were down. You ever do that? You ever watch a movie and just crank up the surround sound, and just get it all dark? They're just having a nice day. They're just relaxing. They had the day off. They're just eating soup, watching movies. And the guy goes, or the gal goes to put the soup in the bowl, put the bowl of soup, the empty bowl, into the kitchen sink, and she looks out the kitchen window and she sees all this green smoke and it's swirling, and she's like, what is going on? And so literally, she looks out the other window, opens the front door, and she sees flames. So where's the FOIA request for why wasn't, who said don't hit the signal, don't turn on, don't call the radio stations, don't put it on the television broadcast, don't have the sirens go, don't have the police go around knocking on doors. There's accountability, there's records of all of that. These people died as a result of these decisions, yet the people that were in power are still in power today, and they're looking to get reelected. That's crazy. So anyway, that's my walk and tour, that's my update. Yeah, I wish it was a little more positive, but it is what it is. And hoping for the best always. So, oh man, beautiful Corvette just went by. Thanks you guys so much for watching. I gotta go to work, I'm stressed out, and I was like, I gotta go to work. Not that this isn't, it's kind of work, but not really. This is always fun. I wish I could do more of it, but I'm always working. Beautiful West Maui mountains. Thanks so much for watching. If you, in fact, do love Maui, which hopefully you do, share the video, subscribe to the channel, put it on your Facebook, put it on your Instagram. We need to raise awareness. We need to call for justice. We need to call for investigations. We need to call for infrastructure being fixed. We need to call for business owners getting their permits so they can rebuild their businesses and oceanfront homes and other homes. Something, what? We're just powerless? Is that it? We're just like, oh well, just go back to work, sorry guys. We can do something, right? Or maybe we can't. Maybe we can't. They have their scepters, their rulers, they have their scepter, and they're just like, take it, you peasant folk. But I still think it's bullshit. If you agree, let me know.